You know how you hear all these great ways to track and stay on top of your finances? Well, I'm going to show you today how you can build your own free net worth tracker to stay on top of your money. In episode 15 of Financial Planning for Young Adults, we talked all about financial thermometers, financial ratios, and guideposts for you to be able to keep track of your money. So, with that episode in mind and all the great guideposts that we talked about, I want to focus on net worth tracking today. I'm going to show you how you can set up your own net worth tracker quickly and easily to track it all on your own for free. This video is going to be a super simple tutorial that you can follow yourself to set up your own dashboard. But if you don't want to set up a dashboard and you just want a simple and free net worth tracker, click the link in the top of the description and book a time with me, and I'd love to get this set up for you for absolutely free. It's super easy, so let's get into the tutorial today. So the first thing I want to share with you here on screen is how to set up a spreadsheet for all of this. So just go into Google Sheets, open a brand new sheet, and put these headers at the top of your spreadsheet. You're going to use date, account, owner, type, tax status, and balance. The date is going to help you keep track of when everything happened and show you over time how your net worth has changed. The account is just the name of the account or however you want to remember it. The owner is whether you keep your finances separate or do everything joint. You can notate that in the owner column. The type is whether it's a cash account, an investment account, or retirement account, a credit card, an auto loan, a student loan. It helps you keep track of what the account type is. And the tax status will be extremely helpful when it comes to managing your investments and retirement accounts so that you know how much you have in each one of those tax buckets. And then the balance, of course, is self-explanatory. So that's how you set up the spreadsheet. It's a pretty simple process to start and get going, but now comes the key part of building the report. This will be a quick and easy process, so stay with me here, but to get that going, you're going to go in Google Sheets to the top, click on Extensions, and then go to Looker Studio and hit Create Report. That is going to pop up this menu over here on the right-hand side, where you'll select the source sheet, use the first row as headers, and include hidden and filtered cells. That's a great way to set this up. So we're going to go ahead and hit Create, and it's going to load for you and build you an example template dashboard. So we'll clean up this dashboard here in just a second, but I want to show you a couple key things first with controlling your data. So at the top here is where you can add charts or where you can add controls, but the most important control to have is the date range controller, because that's going to allow you to select a specific time period. And we're going to come over here to setup on the right hand side and change the auto date range to this month. That's going to allow it to automatically use the most recent data. And you'll notice how these reports just updated on screen. Another control that is important is the drop-down list. So let's add a drop-down here, and we're going to add a drop-down by account type. This would allow us to filter it by credit cards, investments, cash. So let's do investments, and you'll see how everything updates here. You could also have a drop-down for account type if you wanted to track a specific account over time. The drop-down menus can be super helpful for controlling your data, but let's get into actually building the report. I'm going to delete these pre-populated reports here, and I want to show you one of my favorite charts to add, and that's the scorecard. So as we add the scorecard here, this will be pretty simple to see what's happening. We're going to change this primary field to balance, and you're probably saying, wow, that balance is pretty big. That's because that's your entire net worth for the month of January added up. The scorecard can be super helpful to break it down by account type. So you can use what's called a filter over here on the right-hand side under properties. We're going to create a new filter, and we're going to do include type is equal to cash. And you'll see it'll update here so that it's only the cash balance. And then under the primary field, you can click on that little pencil to update the display name to cash. And you can do this for each different account type. That's one of the things I find super valuable is having one for, say, credit cards. So we're going to update the filter by removing the type filter. We're going to add a new one. I also recommend naming these filters. So we're going to call this one the credit card filter. We're going to include type is equal to, and we'll do credit card. We'll save it. And you'll notice it updates to a negative balance because we have credit card debt in this instance. And you just keep going through and you can add a scorecard for every single different type. Then once you go through and add each different filter and another scorecard for each different account type, you'll see here that you have a whole bunch of different scorecards and you can move these around and reorder them however you'd like. So let's say we want to put our two debts at the bottom here. You can do that quickly and easily. And then it shows you in order from cash, investments, retirement, credit cards, student loans, and whatever else you may have. The scorecard can be super useful. The next chart that can be really useful is a bar chart. So we're just going to go ahead and add a bar chart here. And this bar chart can show the different types of accounts you have. And then if you change the metric to balance, it'll show you a comparison as a bar chart of your different types of accounts. You can also come over here and add a breakdown dimension to break up those bar charts a little further based on tax status. And then it will show the different tax statuses that you have within those account types. I'm going to go ahead and remove this for now so that we just have the overall bar chart. The next one that I want to show you is going to show you something helpful for tax status, and that's adding a Sankey chart. So we're going to scroll down here in the chart menu where it says Sankey, and we're going to add this one. And once you add the Sankey chart, we're going to have to do some editing here. So we're going to do tax status and account. The weight metric is going to be balanced, but the key thing we're going to need to remove here is liabilities. We can use a filter for this to exclude any balance that is less than or equal to 0. And we'll call it no liabilities or no debt. We're going to hit save and add that filter to your Sankey chart to quickly see how your different accounts break up over the tax status. And if you move these around, it'll show you which accounts go to which tax status. And you could also add a filter here to exclude anything that does not have a tax status. So we could do is null, and that's going to make it so that only things that have a tax status will show. And this chart can be really useful to visualize your tax buckets. And now for one of the best charts is to add a time series chart. So we're going to go ahead and add this chart here. And it's going to naturally try to track your net worth over time, but we have to do some editing for this. The main thing we need to remove is the date range dimension because we want this to be over all time. And now the other thing you need to do is go into Style and then scroll way down to Missing Data and just do Line Interpolation. And then that will track your net worth between the 2 points and just make it look simple, smooth, and easy. And then as you add more and more time of tracking your net worth, this chart will get longer and longer and show your net worth grow and change over time. You can also add a breakdown dimension of type to show your net worth changing among the different accounts. So this would be a great way to track your credit card debt changing and going up in this case, because you would want it to get closer to 0. You'll notice that the loans are down here below 0. This chart can be a great way to track things over time and really help you see the direction that you're heading overall. So that is how you can quickly and easily set up a net worth report for yourself to track it manually. And then you just click save and share in the corner. Just enter personal if it asks for a company name and then hit save and you're done. You can always come back to this report and it'll have the most accurate data based on when you last logged your net worth. And now knowing your financial picture is absolutely crucial. This report, it's going to help you lay the groundwork to understand where you're at. There's so many other cool things you could track, especially if you track your expenses in Google Sheets. You can start to build cash flow reports, expense tracking, and you can even see a report based on where you spent the most money, which can be kind of a fun and scary one to look at. And this net worth report that we just built can be a huge deal towards getting your mind working in the right direction naturally. You're of course going to want to see these scorecards change and go in the right direction over time. So feel free to copy this tutorial that you saw today and get your own dashboard set up and running. But if you don't want to do this on your own, I would be happy to help. I have a link right at the top of the description to schedule a free call with me to get your dashboard set up and running. And if you want to get more great content like this, subscribe to the channel and check out the podcast. Financial Planning for Young Adults is all about making the seemingly complex world of financial planning a whole lot easier to understand for young adults, because you have unlimited opportunity if you can get started today. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.